Welcome back to B2B Inspired. Today I have Hugh Thomas, who's the brand manager at Kids Ride Shotgun. Now, Kids Ride Shotgun is a purpose-driven company for the next generation of mountain bikers to help families ride together and inspire future riders. Founded in 2016 by Dan Necklin and Tom Hayward, KRS was born from a desire to spend more quality time with their children.
Thanks, Freya. Nice to be here.
Yeah, great. So firstly, tell me a little bit about your career. I'd like to hear a little bit about you.
Well, I did psychology at university, and I thought that I would be a psychologist. Did a bit of mental health work, quickly found an opportunity to work in action sports, which has always been my passion from a kid. So I ended up working for Monster Energy. And I spent, I think it must have been 9 years there, working my way through various different marketing roles, finishing up in an athlete manager role. So I was responsible for the ski, snowboard and mountain bike teams there across Europe, Middle East and Africa. And my wife's a Kiwi. So at some point we decided it was time to come to New Zealand and finish with the party life. And I wanted to live a bit more of a healthier life. Her family are from Tauranga. So we came here and I started looking for work and found my way to Dan, who had this fledgling company selling this contraption I'd never heard of before, as I didn't have kids. Met up with him and was just really enamored by lots of attributes of the brand that they were building, the quality of the content and just the opportunity that the company had, I thought. Took a role with Dan back in 2018. I think it started off doing anything that Dan and the sales manager weren't doing. There was just the three of us. So that was customer support, sales support, social media. And it's pretty funny to think back to those times when I would answer 5 to 10 Facebook messages in a day and think I was busy. Been there 6 years, been through various marketing roles at the company, and now responsible for the brand. So I have a team that sit under me, social and creative, and then I manage PR and product go-to-market. Still wearing a lot of hats, even to this day, I guess. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
What an amazing opportunity, because here in Tauranga, we really are in the, we've got the Redwoods so close to us. We've got Summerhill, we've got the Tech Park. We've just got an amazing platform for mountain biking right here in Tauranga. And you and I definitely share a passion for mountain biking. We spend a lot of time in the forest. I'm sure that you do too.
Definitely.
I think we're uniquely placed in New Zealand to be able to launch an adventure sports brand.
Yeah, definitely. We try and leverage that as much as possible in our brand, and I think the ethos of New Zealand really flows through the team and what we do. Sort of we talk about resilient parenting and not being helicopter parents like a fair amount as part of our brand. So as you mentioned, our purpose is to raise the next generation of mountain bikers, but the reason for that is because we believe mountain biking offers kids and families like really good learning and sort of parenting ethos, and just that fall over, get back up, try again, the confidence that kids get from it. So I think that's a really Kiwi way of looking at things as well. Like being from the UK myself, I really love that about being here. So that flows through a lot of what we do, as well as just being really connected to nature. And I think that resonates with audiences who know New Zealand from that. They might be familiar with the Redwoods. If you're a mountain biker, that's a world famous destination. If you're a surfer, you're familiar with Raglan. If you're a snowboarder, you're familiar with Queenstown. So we're positioned really well, I think, for the brand.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And if you take a look at any of your brand work, the Instagram, really does, all of that work comes through. You've got beautiful content, and it's a real brand that you've managed to build in the past 6 years.
Thank you.
So you went global pretty quickly. I mean, from the start of Kids Ride Shotgun, how many years did it take you to realize that you needed to branch into North America?
Well, Dan and Andrew, who was our sales lead at the time, were just on that mission as I joined the company. So I think they were off to Sea Otter, which is a global trade and consumer mountain bike event in Monterey in the US. They were going there, it must have been 3 or so months after I started, to try and find a distributor for the US. So we had New Zealand and we had Australia, and we were operating from a single direct consumer website and shipping from New Zealand, I believe, maybe New Zealand, maybe Australia. Sorry, we had 3PL as well, but yeah, North America was really the next target market. It's a huge mountain biking market. It's obviously a huge population, and it's I wouldn't say it's an easy market, but it's an easy market transferably for the brand. Like mountain biking works, English speaking, a lot of the brands are similar. There's a lot of synergy there. So I think we probably could have stayed focusing on the home markets a lot longer, but the opportunity there was really big. So they went to Sea Otter with a handful of product and a couple of meetings lined up, and yeah, came back and said, we found someone that's keen to take on this product that no one's ever heard of before. And that was really the start. I think I'm probably going to get this wrong, but we're plus 20 distributors globally now. But the US was the real unlock, and it's our biggest D2C market today. I think it's probably our biggest market overall, but yeah, Germany is huge as well. So yeah.
And do you have boots on the ground in North America and in Germany?
We do to varying degrees. So I don't know if this is public knowledge yet, so you might have to cut it out, but we've actually just offered someone a sales lead role in the US, and we have previously had sales managers in the US as well.
Right.
And then in Europe, we do have a sales manager there at the moment. They're based out of the UK. So the distributors do a lot of the heavy lifting for us, and we're starting to build out our in-market sales team. Yeah.
So the growth trajectory is happening. So once you leave New Zealand, you kind of touched on that you're an unknown brand, right? You really take someone to take a bit of a punt on you. And how did you go through that process? How did you convince a distributor to stock your first product?
Yeah, I think it's really, really interesting story. Dan in New Zealand, before we had any distribution, him and Tom had made this crazy product that no one had ever heard of before. And Dan just went store to store with it, putting it on bikes, demonstrating it to people. And I think the product was so aligned to a problem that Dan was solving for himself. He was the consumer number one. That his passion really, really came through there. And to this day, if you can find someone at the distribution company or the retail store that has kids and mountain bikes, this is an easy pitch. Probably told off for saying that, but like, you get it, you understand the problem. You can look at the imagery we have, you can look at the social content, the people around the world using this, and just be like, you just get it. You get it straight away. So now with new distributors, it's a lot easier. We have a hashtag on Instagram with 15,000 mentions, and it's just a feed of kids having the best time ever using these products. And it's so relatable and so understandable for someone that's a part of that community, that the rest of the stuff is the admin after that. I think understanding the product proposition and value is really simple, especially if you can get someone that is the target consumer or has had children. And a lot of the time we hear, I wish that was around when I had kids. That's a really common comment we hear. So yeah, I think that's probably the alpha in the product.
That's remarkable. And I know we're speaking about the launch, or I saw a LinkedIn post of yours about the launch of your new Balance bike. And it was surprising that it wasn't the brand, kind of the top level brand that was so popular. It was the lo-fi video of you panning around, like tightening the screws, almost like ASMRing actually tightening and putting on the product itself. So you've almost built this incredible brand, and then when you put the robustness of the product behind it and showcase that in part of your marketing, it really comes through very strongly.
Yeah, the new seat. It's constantly surprises me, as we were talking about, how interested people are in the product itself. Like as a marketer, I'm like, it's all about the experience. It's all about the value that this product provides to the consumer. But online, people are just fascinated by how our product works. And I guess that speaks to the novelty of it. And that although we're doing really well, we're still probably relatively unknown, like outside of our very core demographic in a lot of these markets. So the new seat that we just launched had a lot of novelty in the way that it functions. It was a 2-in-1 product. So it converted from a seat for young kids to a seat for older kids. And yeah, we sort of looked at that and were like, should it be a really flashy high production value, or should we just speak to the novelty of the product by showing this thing converting? Yeah, and funny, when I wrote that LinkedIn post, I was like trying to benchmark for myself to set my expectations on how this video would do. It's the first time we showed it to anyone, and I was like, 50,000 views is the minimum I want. 100,000, I'll be pretty happy. I think it's at like 6.8 million at the moment. So it just, yeah, it went crazy, and it really like drove the whole campaign for us. So yeah, I was lucky, successful. I don't know which one to pick there, bit of both, I think.
That's a really amazing story because, as you mentioned, the distributors don't just want the product itself, do they? They actually want to believe in the product as well alongside you. So when you're speaking about it being, you've provided everything that a distributor needs in terms of brand. What do you think that B2B businesses can learn from such a strong demand creation strategy?
Yeah, I think it's funny. We're a multi-channel, omni-channel business. So we have our direct consumer through Shopify. We have our direct consumer-ish through marketplaces such as Amazon. And then we have our wholesale business. So we have wholesalers in each of our key territories who they are our customer. They are the person that's buying the product from us, but they're not the end consumer. Like the retailer is their customer, again, not the end consumer. And then you get to the end consumer. So I think one thing I've really learned from being at Kids Ride Shotgun is you do have to put work into your customer from a B2B perspective, but the demand is really generated by the end customer. Like the new seat, the Evo, was a great example. We had given our wholesale partners a lot of the information for the product, and it was quite a long lead time, but we chose to start talking about it publicly very early to drive a lot of demand. And that was really effective in that we had our wholesalers phoning us being like, we've got our retail customers calling us asking for this product, and we haven't even shown it to them yet because people are seeing the hype online, walking into their local bike store and saying, hey, I've just seen this thing, I want one. And whether the retailers knew about the product at the time, hopefully, or not, they're then turning around to the wholesaler and saying, hey, someone's looking to give me $600, but I don't have the product for them. Can you help me out? And they're in turn coming to us saying like, hey, the demand for this thing is crazy. We want to double our order. Or you've told us we can only have 1,000. We want 3,000, because scarcity was a part of the play for this product. So I think the focus being on the end consumer, like whoever that is for you in a B2B business and partnership, like that end consumer drives the demand, like full stop. Like if they don't know you exist and they're not interested in your product or your service, it's very hard for you then to go and make that sale to your customer, who might be another business. Like they need to believe in you, they need to understand the product, but ultimately they need to feel that pull from the market that if they purchase this, it's going to get pulled out of their warehouse. Like it's no good us selling 1,000 units to our wholesaler and then no one wanting them. Like that will be the end of that transaction, and we probably won't hear from them again. So yeah, I think focusing on the end consumer for demand is really important.
So tell me about how your really clear purpose shapes those decisions, because it seems like the purpose of Kids Ride Shotgun really fuels a lot of that. So strategically, you've got your positioning and your messaging, they're all just so tight and locked down. So how do you use that to fuel the distributor relationship and that end demand? What does it look like?
Yeah, so we've always had our purpose to raise the next generation of mountain bikers, and we've had internal only views of why that's important. Recently, we did a lot of work to build out the rest of the brand compass, so adding in the vision and mission to that. So we have a full stack now. I think what's been really good about that process is despite having a really clear purpose, we would still struggle with decisions like product decisions or channel mix decisions, because you don't have that North Star to really align to. So we definitely had circumstances where key thought leaders in the business would have varying views on how this purpose would play out in real life, which did lead to tensions. So nailing that down has been a really good although difficult process for us. I think now, like you said, it really can form the basis of key decisions. So, for example, in B2B for us, we have wholesale relationships, and there are big box retailers around the world, the Decathlons of the world, or Walmart, who probably would be a really big revenue opportunity for us. But we look at that and we think, our mission is to raise the next generation of mountain bikers. We want people to mountain bike with our products. And we think, if we put our value product into this store, who's the consumer in this store? Is it mountain bikers? Or, mountain biking is a wealthy sport. That is what it is. You need a good amount of money for a good bike. And these stores are value orientated. That's their proposition. So yeah, that, for example, we think about if being stocked there does serve our purpose or not. And if it doesn't, we really question, should we do it? Are we chasing revenue, or are we being true to our purpose? And there's times where you may choose to break that for other reasons, and it's not as simple as that. But that might be a sales decision. On the product front, we've discussed which products to make or how to position them. And that, again, is really guided by our purpose. We want kids to have amazing experiences mountain biking so that they're passionate about it, so they grow up loving mountain biking and continue to do it for their lives, because we believe it offers them such amazing things. So we've toyed with products that are skills based, so would help kids to learn to cycle. And we've had to look back at our purpose and be like, that's not what it's about for us. It's not about raising people who are good at mountain biking. It's about getting people excited and stoked on mountain biking. So in product decisions, it's been really useful too. And there's probably a ton of other areas where it's helped guide us. But yeah, I think being really clear, having the uncomfortable conversations about the lack of clarity, if you have lack of clarity in your business about your purpose, is worthwhile. Yeah.
Because you've even got a book, haven't you? Is it called Shred Till Bed?
Yep. Yeah. ABC
that
book that Dan wrote. So he's an author now, which is awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah, I can't wait to buy it for my nephew.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely stoked on that. But that seems, like you say, it might seem like a tough sell to write a book.
Yep.
For kids. But if you've got that true vision and that North Star, then actually it becomes pretty easy.
Yeah, exactly. And that bookends sort of our product roadmap. So we have the book that people tend to buy at a young age, or it's a really great gifting product. So there's a lot of other good reasons for this product, but ultimately it's there to make mountain biking relatable for very young kids. So they're fun animals riding bikes, and they've got mountain bike terminology built in. It's a little bit Pixar in how it's like designed for kids, but kind of fun for adults too. Like, I love that about that product. But yeah, it's designed to get kids excited and like initiated into mountain biking as a culture. So again, like really clear purpose fit for why we made that. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because it's hard, I think, in your product roadmap as well, as you mentioned, to make decisions about what's next. Like you've got the balance bike, which is doing phenomenally well as well. What's next? How do you keep expanding a product range that is?
Yeah, very topical question for our office at the moment. So we had this product roadmap that we are looking to complete next year. So we have a product that'll be coming out that's a backpack that allows you to put the balance bike in. So when you have your kid riding on the front of the bike, it's really nerdy product talk now, you can take them to their favorite spot to ride their bike, or you can go into the forest, or you don't have to use your car to transport a balance bike. So otherwise your kid's either riding on the shotgun seat up front, or they're riding their balance bike, and you're really limited in what you can do then. So this product is the last sort of unlock in our journey to have a suite of products that gives parents everything they need to raise a mini mountain biker. That's the marketing spiel. So now we're looking at what is next after that, and whether we have to expand our age. So we're 0 to 5 as a category that we want to own. Like, do we want to step into pedal bikes and go larger than that? There aren't a huge number of key products that consumer research and talking to our customers has flagged. So now we're looking at other stoke products, as we call them, like the book, that align to the purpose but are AOV generating, so help with customer lifetime value. Are there partnerships we can do with other brands? That's something we're discussing at the moment. So we looked at helmets as another key first product that people buy. We looked at that and we're like, we can't do this better than the brands that are already doing this. It doesn't make sense. So we're looking to partner with a brand and do a collaboration. So there's plenty of avenues for us to bulk out our range. But I think the major question will be whether we decide to expand beyond 5 years or stay in. And that again is a focus question for me. Like I don't believe we're very saturated in our markets. So there's a lot of work we can put into growing what we already have. Depending on your product size, product can be a distraction. It takes a lot of time and energy for a marketing team to launch a product. So yeah, a constant conversation in our office is product or customer acquisition, like which are we going for? So yeah, really fun topic, and I don't have a good answer for you.
Well, I think that topic is very relatable to a lot of businesses at the moment. Where do you expand? Where do you move? I mean, you've got the world at your feet. Kids Ride Shotgun really seems to just have a value proposition that is like you say, relatable across borders, from Australia, North America, Europe. Yeah, where could be next?
Oh, we have had distributor in Scandinavia before, and because of certain EU legislation that fell through, which that's some work we've done on to put legislation in place to make our products not safer, I guess, but appear safer to consumers because they conform with existing regulation. So Scandinavia is a big one for us. South America is really untouched. So we have a Central America, Mexican distributor. We have a Chilean distributor, but we're not in Argentina or Brazil. We do very little in Asia. We're not in China or Japan. And there are places you really wouldn't expect. We have people ordering for Reunion Island from our website. So mountain biking really is a global sport. And there's certain countries which are more well known for it than others, like Germany and the UK are huge and they're great markets for us, North America. But yeah, you'd be surprised. It, like you said, really is a global proposition, and market expansion is another one on the checklist of how do we grow. It could be not product and not customer acquisition, but let's just open new markets. And that's how we chose to grow in the early days, by rapidly expanding new markets and letting the product awareness sort of do its job. A video prior to the new product one, we had one that got to like 18 million views, and it's just fitting the product to a seat. But a huge proportion of those views were from South America that we don't serve. We don't serve it D2C and we don't serve it B2B. So the demand for the product is out there, but it's just which channel do you take, which path do you take to grow? What's the path of least resistance? What's got the most opportunity? Yeah, it's great problem to have. We're very lucky.
Yeah, very exciting. Has NZT helped you at all on that journey?
Yeah, tons. We've had a lot of support from NZT. Gotta give a shout to Todd, who's our account manager. He's been awesome. And then we use their in-market beachheads, I believe they call them, to get sort of market relevant data and learnings from those guys. So yeah, tons of support. It's been really awesome. We benefit from the IGF grants and a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure we wouldn't be where we are without those guys.
That's interesting. There's a lot of support out there, isn't there, in the New Zealand business community?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it has been phenomenal, even for a small, seemingly small town in Tauranga. I think we do extremely well. We've got some incredibly large export companies, award-winning export companies, based here in Tauranga as well. So yeah, I'm just really proud of our business community.
Definitely, yeah. And I'm fairly new to the community, but I've had a lot of support from people like Carl, who and Jill, who has worked with him previously as well. Those guys have always been open to help, and people are super friendly and willing to get involved and just want to see local businesses succeed. So yeah, the knowledge that's out there from people is amazing, and people are so generous with it. So it's wicked.
What advice would you give a brand manager in a position like yourself, just starting in a B2B company, and they want to reach more people? Maybe let's say in maybe a bit more of a boring industry.
Yeah, we have it very easy. My key takeaway is to really know your consumer. I think people probably don't do enough of this, and I probably don't do enough of this. But if you have a niche, a focused group, you're not trying to be everything to everyone, like really understanding your consumer is absolutely vital. Like whether you're going to their office and talking to them face to face, or you're on phone calls, or you're surveying, or you're using post-purchase data, like however you're getting that information, to understand your customers' wants and pain points and what their motivations are for wanting your product, like whatever that might be. Like for us, it's, you know, oh, I want to go riding with my kid. Like that actually isn't it. Like when I talk to customers and I ask them why and to tell me stories, it's about confidence and resilience and like passing on their passion and seeing their kids do well in life. It's so much deeper than that, you know, and that feeds your marketing and it feeds everything that you do. So yeah, my advice would just be talk to your customers, like get close to them, understand them, be the voice in your company for the customer.
I saw the phenomenal campaign that you launched around resilience. It was on Instagram and social media, and it was people get parents to send in the photos and videos of children who were maybe not succeeding at life. You know, they're not like, you know, they're not doing jumps and they're falling over and they're getting back up and back onto their bike and getting on with it.
Yeah, exactly. And you get that kind of information from talking to people about what the real motivations behind your product use are, and then you can put that to use in your marketing, and then you're really talking to the deep down desires of your customers, you know, and you'll be more efficient, you'll be more effective. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, where did that idea come from? You know, did that come from a group, kind of focus group that you had? Did it come from a customer idea? Did it come from, how did you take that concept of resilience and then turn it into such a phenomenal campaign?
Yeah, good question. That was a while ago. I think I just finished a bunch of consumer research where I've been speaking to parents, like on the phone. I can't exactly remember why, but I had this need for an answer to a certain question. And when I asked people to tell me stories, we just had training actually about how to interview people, so it was fresh in my mind. And I was asking people to tell me stories about when they'd been riding with their kid, you know. And I had this guy tell me a story about going to a bike park with his kid on the balance bike, which was the product that we were trying to position at the time. And he was really nervous for his kid, and his kid was like, I want to hit this jump, I want to do this thing. And you know, he had to put his big boy pants on as a parent and let his kid try the thing, and his kid failed and fell over and hurt themselves a little bit, but quickly got over it and got back up and did it again. And that moment when his kid did it for the second time, he had this like parental realization that this is what it was all about, and he could see his kid growing in confidence and the stoke that came from that. So I think like consumer research really drove that insight that resilience was like an important part of why parents were mountain biking with their kids, regardless of whether it was Kids Ride Shotgun or not. So yeah, and then we implemented that into the Dirt Hero campaign, asking people to send us like their videos of their kids being dirt heroes, and that often meant falling over. Like one of the guys that won a bike from us, his kid was just repeatedly trying to ride this hill and falling over again and again and again, just getting up, trying it. And then the moment he did it was so phenomenal to see in kids. You know, it's so relatable. Like I don't even have like children myself, but like you can't not see that and feel emotion and feel passion towards what you're watching. So yeah, that kind of insight is a real unlock, I think.
So talk to your customers
talk to your customers, and
ask them stories. I think that question is sometimes missing in our communications, and you know, we tend to stick to what challenges did you experience, you know, how did our product serve a solution, you know, you kind of get stuck in those. People
are phenomenally bad at telling you what they're feeling. Like I think there's I can't remember the quote, but people don't know what they feel and they won't tell you what they're thinking, and you have to go a little deeper than that. And having the training on how to interview people is really important for the tactics to get that out. If you ask them what their challenges are, they're gonna tell you what's at the front of their mind or tell you what they want to hear. But if you ask them a story about what was hard at their day at work today, or what was hard using our software, or you know, that kind of thing, and get stories out of people, they might not know what they've told you, but you'll be able to pick that out. You'll be able to infer from what they've said what they're really struggling with. So yeah, interview techniques. Yeah, good one.
Big one, yeah. What other resources have you leaned on just for our audience? If they, if there's any books that you really appreciate, any podcasts that you listen to, or at the moment are you just in the weeds of getting things done?
I probably spend at least a couple of hours a week either in the gym or driving, sort of trying to upskill. I'm not a trained marketer, like I was a psychologist by training. Massive fan of the Operators podcast, which is a group. They have two. There's a group of CEOs and then a group of marketing leads, CMOs, who just discuss their daily operation. It's such a great look behind the curtain of a company. Some really nerdy stuff in there, but some broader stuff. I love that one. And then I'm just finishing Contagious by Jonah Berger. And that's all about virality and shareability. Amazing book. I've learned so much from that. So I think if there's someone in the business that's in your social team or you're leaning on that concept of shareability to get your message spread, that's a great book. Other than that, anything by Seth Godin is golden. So yeah.
Of course. Yes, of course. Great. Thank you so much, Hugh. That was a great conversation. I learned so much and I love hearing the story behind Kids Ride Shotgun. They're dear to my heart. Love mountain biking.
Awesome.
You're such part of Todd on the Business community. And yeah, I'm stoked to see you hopefully at some next local awards.
Or out on the trails.
Or on the trails. Exactly. Thank you so much.